That's when An and I saw it at the same time. There was a black shadow that jumped from one tree to another. It was full black. I didn't know what it was. I was like, whoa. I saw it, I was like, and we are not live. Wow, this episode very crispy.
There's a certain smoky atmosphere.
Yeah, I got the smoke.
Yeah.
You know why not? Because we are smoking with the Smoke Ninja by PMI Gear. Shout out to PMI Gear for sponsoring us for this. And also it's shot on Nikon. Specifically, it's shot on the Nikon Z8. That's why it's so crispy.
Wow. Let us introduce, or reintroduce, I should say, our guest for this episode. He is a very special guest to us because he is none other than Raihan Yacob.
Aww. Yeah, very special.
Our dear friend.
We spent a lot of time with him.
We have spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
And Raihan has worked in everything from producing and presenting to fitness and nutrition. Yeah. But most relevant to us tonight and most relevant to the two of us, Raihan is our co-host for the MediaCorp and HANTU co-production
Tales from Incredible Tales.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. See, I thought he was going to do like the same dramatic reading that you do every time you start the show. It's like Tales from Incredible Tales.
Yeah. Cannot lah. Dead air has to be on brand.
That's true.
Yeah. Dead air is dead air, you know.
Also, we can't do it as dramatically as you can.
Yeah. You want to try?
Dead air. Dead air.
Wait. Try your Tales one.
Tales from Incredible Tales. Just that's it. Okay. Yeah. Tales from Incredible Tales.
See, we can't top that.
Yeah.
You can't top that.
That's good.
The man is a professional.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're here today because we're, at this point, if I'm not wrong, we're almost done with season 2 for Tales.
Almost.
Right.
October 13th.
October 13th. Yeah. So we just wanted to, well, first of all, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys. Really, I love to be back. It feels nostalgic because I was here the previous
season.
Yeah. And then now I'm here again with new stories. So, yay.
And you'll be here for season 3.
Manifest.
Not confirmed yet.
Well, it's our show, so we can say it. Season 3. I don't know. You guys have to like help us. I know WSA. You super steady and you went to comment on all the. And I would like to attribute part of season 2. Why season 2 happened was because WSA went to comment on literally every single video of season 1.
Thank you.
That's the bar you've set.
So WSA, you need to gather all the people who support the show and go and comment on all episodes of season 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's make season 3 happen.
Yes.
On TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere.
I think at that point we have to start paying him like a marketing executive's salary.
Yeah.
That's hard work.
It is.
But no, it's good to have you back.
Thank you.
We just wanted to check with you, I wanted to check with you. It sounds so serious, How you been feeling about season 2?
I think overall. Yeah, in overall season 2, I think this time has more different perspectives, different intricacies because we had different guests, right? And I think the whole entire season 2 felt more, I would say, diverse as compared to season 1. Season 1 is where we had guests telling stories as well. But season 2 is where we concretize the stories. We kind of get everybody together, brainstorm about why things happen, etc. And then we had, feng shui masters. We had people who can see the third eye. We also get people who don't really believe in ghosts. So I think season 2 is where we diversify more stories as compared to season 1. And I think it has been great so far for season 1. I think season 1 has really touched so many people, and moved so many people that they keep on telling more stories about whatever we have shared. But season 2 is where it kind of increases that storyline and also increase that reach in areas that we have not touched for season 1. I feel that it's great that we actually got back, similar guests that we had for season 1. We also had new guests with different perspective. And in overall, it's like season 2 just made me become more hantusified. I don't know if that's a word. I wanted to say diversify, but it's like HANTU-sified.
HANTU-sified. So you got more ghost stories and then you got more experiences, I guess.
Yeah, and more of understanding about all these kind of energies. Because
Understanding.
I think season 1 is more of like being scared of the stories. Season 2 is like more of like, being aware that they do exist and how do we like kind of, look at it at a different angle, etc.
Yeah. It was really fun. I remember like the first few days on set. I think everybody was a bit tense because normally when you do a show, season 1 you do, right? Then you wait for a year or like at least 9 months, then you do season 2. Actually, we shot season 1 in January, right?
Yeah.
And season 2 went into production in July.
Yeah.
So that was very quick.
Very quick.
Very, very quick. So we didn't have time to even process season 1 and we started talking about season 2 already. Thanks to you guys.
Yeah.
So everybody came on set. I was like, okay, so what's happening now?
Yeah.
We're gonna do this. Would it be like a bit more boring? Because that, as the director, I thought that would, because it felt very repetitive. But at the same time, it felt like season 1 was so far away.
Yeah.
It felt like it was last year. For me, it's like, last year I do season. No, actually, it was like earlier this year. I remember editing it during Chinese New Year.
In my head, that's what I was thinking also. Like, season 1 was 2023. And then everybody's like, no, it was this year.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. I swear, time doesn't work the same when you're a content creator, when you create content. It's like, it just doesn't work the same. It's like once you're done with a project, you're done. You don't really look back. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I don't really look back.
Quite true. I didn't know the impact that Tales from Incredible Tales season 1 did or had.
Yeah.
Because I know it went online. I know that people were really interested in it. But I didn't know that it blew up like on YouTube. Like the views were like whoa, and then even on Instagram, I only found out that on Instagram it was really blowing up when I went for season 2 shoots.
Was it Instagram? You were looking at the TikTok page as well?
The TikTok page. Yeah, I was like, whoa, the TikTok page grew this much in 7 months.
Yeah.
It's crazy, guys. So thank you guys for supporting us. But yeah, I mean, adding on to that, when I heard that there was season 2, I was like, oh, okay. I did season 1 last year. And then I realized, wait, season 1 was just a few months back.
Yep.
And
exactly.
Because for us, we have projects back to back.
Yeah.
So after one shoot is done, we kind of move on. That's why I didn't realize what impact it had until so what happened was, first it really blew up. Second, people do start recognizing me from Tales from Incredible Tales lah.
Yep.
So when I'm walking around, people like, you do that scary hantu podcast, right? I was like, yeah, you watch? I said, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm like, wow, people do watch, and I didn't know the impact until I saw the views. So yes. So so I think to add on to what Carl said, the way as content producers, and for me to be part of a show like this, and then to continue it within a year is a big accomplishment.
Yeah. I think it really shows that people like ghost stories a lot.
Yeah. I think it's definitely more ghost stories on a whole, and like Tales from Incredible Tales itself. Because imagine if they came up to you as like, instead of you host that HANTU show, they're like, hey, you arts friend, right? Not an insult, definitely. I was like, yes, I am arts friend. Yes,
right. Like some people was like, how's meeting art? Okay, so I want to share this story. It's really funny because I didn't realize that I did meet art. You get it? Because art is art, right?
Yeah.
So in season 1, when I met him, the first day when I met him, I was like, blown away. But I didn't realize it's really, really art. The art that I grew up watching.
Do you think what we had like a stunt double? Is it
doppelganger?
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Because we grew up watching him.
Yeah.
As a kid, like as children, so it felt a bit disconnected.
Yeah.
Because when you're an adult, you just think, oh, this is a guy lah. Like this is a guy lah. Like,
he's the talent on set.
He's like fellow talent on set lah.
Yeah.
But you don't think that this is art, who created, who essentially terrified an entire generation with his monotonous like, my name's Art and you're watching Incredible Tales. Like that. That thing that
very
he does.
Iconic.
Yeah. So I understand.
I do get what you mean. I think it was only twice in the whole time that we were shooting. Like, season 1 and season 2, there was only twice where the whole like professionalism kind of broke for me. I think once was when we were doing the shoot for the season finale, and then he showed up. It's not what he wears in the season finale, just spoilers a little bit lah. But he showed up wearing an MTV t-shirt from his MTV days, and I was like, oh, come on, man. Come on. This is just like it the reality breaks a little bit. I was like, yeah, he was on MTV. Yeah, he was on MTV.
Yeah.
The second time was when after we finished shooting and we were like, oh, so what are you doing tomorrow? It's like, oh, I'm extending my flight to the evening instead of in the morning because I'm going to go hang out with Nadia. And I was like, Nadia who tag along. And I was like, yes. I remember who I'm talking to now.
Right.
It's art.
It is art. Yeah.
I'm not talking to our fellow guest Art, or the guy that we always like, the friendly guy who hangs out with us and everything. Art. I'm talking to Art.
Yeah.
I was like, oh right, yes.
So it took me a while until someone was asking me, oh my god, you met Art. It's like, yeah, I met Art. Oh yeah, I met Art. I was like, oh yeah. Thanks guys. So yeah. It's surreal how much of an impact the show has made. Yeah.
That's a great segue also, because I want to ask you, like, aside from Art, obviously Art will be there in terms of favorite guests. From this season, who were some of your favorite guests?
Okay, so no, I'm not comparing again guests. All guests are great.
Yeah.
But the stories that really kind of put me in a different perspective would be from SPI. That was interesting.
E.T., right? Yeah.
E.T. Yeah.
Yes. And then we had was it Chitong, the young priest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that also put me in a different perspective.
Gen Z Taoist priest. Yeah.
Yes. And then we had Shafi Aziz. So also his stories on how he filmed in Malaysia and how he
Cerita Hantu.
Yeah. So I feel like again, like the perspective and the diversity of this season has expanded because we get to hear more. And I actually love that we got back Tigil Tales also, because I watched Tigil Tales season 2.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just have to say that.
I'm glad we got back Rashida, and I'm glad that
We got Rafi as well.
Yeah, because then it really... I was telling Rashida that, again, we don't play favorites lah. But, I definitely found her conversation from season 1 one of the most interesting, just because her perspective was so different from everybody else's. And then to have her and Ravi kind of have that play off each other, I was like, oh, okay. It really does put who she is into a greater perspective.
It's like, it was not done on purpose, the whole CMIO thing, the diversity thing. It's just how Southeast Asian horror works and how Southeast Asia culture is very, very diverse. So when you talk about ghost stories in Southeast Asia, right, there's an overlap.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I had that same experience, but with my own, spirits. So I think that's the beautiful part about it. It's like, it's cross-cultural exchange, but in different, cultures and ethnicities. Exactly. Which is, if you look at in season 2, right, there is really a lot of different perspectives. Yeah. And it's like you can find a representative from your own culture and your own ethnicity.
I was gonna say, like, the CMIO thing wasn't planned. No matter what Das said in in episode 2.
Yeah.
There was a comment on YouTube that one of you left saying that it's nice to see different cultures sitting down in one table and then discussing ghost stories. I'm like, yeah, it's true.
But ghost stories bring us together. Yeah. The spirits will be proud. Yeah. So for me, my favorite, right, is probably Das. Because I think Das, he brought the right amount of creepiness and comedy.
Yeah.
Which I think it also is kind of like part of this show's feel. For me lah, it's not just ghost stories, it's like the whole conversation, it can be funny. Yeah. And I think horror has evolved for talk shows lah. Talk shows has evolved so that, there's a good sense of humor in it also. Yeah. Like Dead Air, there's quite a lot of humor. I know some of you...
We're very serious. No.
Listeners not a big fan of it because you're like, hey, y'all keep laughing. Can you get to the creepy stories or not? If you want like full-on horror, listen to Ghost Maps, bro. Like I'm not trying to cannibalize my own show, but I'm saying like, Ghost Maps is full-on horror, but this is more like a chill session where you talk to your friends. And you can't be always, hey, Raihan, I tell you, last night, how many HANTU you can see, bro? Right.
Then why your schedule a bit busy?
Exactly. So I feel like it's a good balance for me. So, and also I like the fact that that episode really CMIO.
And just nice National Day time, Zabo.
Yes.
And he's also one of the, I would say, the accidental horror guy, because it wasn't supposed to be a horror show, right?
Yeah. No, as in like he's not really, he said that in the podcast, he's not really a big fan of horror.
Yeah.
But he was willing to do it because entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, he, Mandarin is not his mother tongue. So he went on a Mandarin show, and it was one of the show that he said that got him a lot of attention also. Which is very interesting.
Yeah. He's I think that added an extra layer, the trajectory of his career after he started doing horror. And we were talking about this before the camera started rolling. So we were saying like, things change the moment you start doing horror.
There was, I don't know, okay, I remember this phrase from Violet's episode, season 1, where I think she mentioned, was it you mentioned, saying that whenever there's a ghost that happened to be around celebrities or whatsoever, their career catapulted.
Yeah, I think it was.
These spirits, they tend to be attracted to people in front of the camera because they are like, oh, you filming? Like, you talking about ghosts? Oh, let me come. Like, they like that.
Yeah.
It's like, who doesn't like to see people, filming? It's quite interesting, right? You will go and see what they're filming. And then I think I added on the fact that, usually when spiritual things happen, like supernatural things happen onto a show itself, it's captured on tape. Usually that show will do very well. And it's a huge belief in the Chinese community, in the sense whereby in Taiwan, right, if that happens for a show, your show most likely will become a top charter or like something. You do well. It's a good sign. It's a good sign. So I don't know. I mean, we did capture some weird stuff, lah.
There was, however, this guest was definitely one of, if not my favorite guest, and I'm quite sure it's the same for you.
Yeah,
I already know it.
I didn't mention her name because she's obviously off the charts.
She is clearly sitting in that rarefied air of like, I think she sits in the same rarefied air as Art in terms of like our favorite guest. You can't really compare her to the other guests. Daisy Irani.
Yes.
How did that feel meeting her?
Can I just say that sitting right in front of her and then, I mean, reminiscing all the Under One Roof and all that just makes me go like, oh my God, I really grew up watching her. And to have her in front of me, I was really starstruck.
Yeah.
I was stunned. I couldn't speak much.
I think she made it even worse for us in terms of how starstruck we were when... Because like, you do your research and you're like, okay, so our research in terms of like, okay, she did Incredible Tales, but she also did this show and this show.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even begin to cover it. Because first of all, I didn't realize that she was part of the launch of Octo.
Yeah.
VP of Octo.
Yeah.
She was just sitting there telling her stories, and it was so captivating, so compelling that I was lost for words. I was just like, all the way.
Yeah. It was like finding out like the history of Singapore television from a certain period of time, literally just from one person's perspective. And you're like,
yeah.
Wow.
Which brings me to a point because she started off Incredible Tales at that point of time, and she fought for it, guys, by the way, because it went through a couple of disagreements, and people didn't want it to be on ad, to be ad. So she fought for it, and imagine if she didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, if that series never happened.
And she was very humble about it because we did ask. I mean, we don't want to review too much. Go and watch the episode.
Yes.
But like, she basically said that she had to fight for a lot of things. First of all, horror. Back then, it was not, even now lah, like in Singapore media landscape, it's not something that people will want to support, right?
Yeah.
But she really fought for it, and also like she also fought for art.
Yeah.
So you can imagine like how hard it was, and back then the rules were much tighter.
Yeah.
And she fought for art because she basically says that he has the perfect balance of what it takes to, you know, run, like, host this show, do the host links, which I completely agree.
Yeah. I agree.
So technically you can say that, you know, without Daisy Irani, there won't be art doing his lines for Incredible Tales.
Yeah. There might not even have been an Incredible Tales.
Yeah.
Or at least not in the way that we know lah.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned humble, so I think that was my other favorite thing, where we were talking to her, and almost every other sentence, right, instead of her going, well, she was always like, me and the team, always that focus on the team.
Yeah.
I agree on that.
Yeah. And it's weird because just to share a side note, after that we had, because it was the last episode we shot for season 2, and we had like a rap party lah. We ate Jollibee, by the way.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah,
so I like how, like, you know, because I believe that she is focusing more on her theatre stuff right now, and she's not really doing much TV stuff behind the scenes now. So it felt right. I don't know, it felt like a far off aunt or like a distant relative asking me about questions. So, Carl, what are you gonna do about season 3? Like, she started asking me a lot of behind the scenes questions, and it felt like, I don't know, it felt nice.
Yeah.
It felt really nice because she's like, so what are your plans? Or what do you want to do for this show? Blah, 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 blah. Because we have to remember that, you know, Daisy was essentially our senior.
Yeah.
She came before Tales from Incredible Tales.
Yeah.
So technically, you're asking the OG. The OG is asking you questions about the future, which I felt nice.
There's that phrase lah, what, you're standing on the shoulders of giants. She literally is the giant on whose shoulders we're standing. And it's not just like, I when we were at that rap party, the thing I love, right, is that she had individual conversations with all three of us. And she was so knowledgeable about each of the fields that we're doing.
Yeah.
So when she's talking to you about directing, that's one thing. Then she's talking to you about like hosting and like where you can go from here. And then she was talking to me about writing and everything. I was like, she really has done everything, hasn't she?
It's like career advice from somebody you didn't expect. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I did like watching you sit down there and then she was like giving you career advice. And I just see the sparkle in your eyes. You're like,
I was like, somebody tells me this. Oh my God.
You were like, full name all come out. Yes, Daisy Irani. Of course, Daisy Irani. Whatever you say, Daisy Irani.
Yeah. I was backing up the footage when she was done talking to two of you. Then she said, come and join us. I'm like, dude, I need to back up the footage. Like, this is like, if I lose the footage, that's it, man. I think she got it.
Oh, she absolutely got it. Like, you can see.
Yeah. So Daisy. You also Daisy? Or,
yes, of course.
I thought you said
we had a couple. The reason why I didn't mention Daisy is because she's off the charts.
Okay.
She's like, no need to mention, she's really there.
Okay. So E.T. E.T. Then for me is Das. For you?
Cannot include Daisy and Art.
It will be E.T. and Chitong.
Yeah.
I like Chitong also.
I like Chitong as well, yeah.
Because I'm still in his like Taoism sharing group in the Telegram. The things that people share, the community is quite interesting. It's like I'm learning. Like it's like it's like, okay, for example, right, for our Western audience, Norse mythology, right? You think that you know about Thor and Loki. Yeah. But it's so much more. There's so much more depth. And it's all lost because there's no proper documentation. You know, like it's all history, which I think is amazing. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving forward, you hear it first. Our last episode was actually shot on location like our first at Hoppa Villa. Shout out to the people at Hoppa Villa and Journeys Private Limited for the support. Yeah. And you experienced stuff right? So are you okay to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Must check.
Just checking.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, so first and foremost, we shot at 2 locations, right?
Yes.
Bukit Brown, and we also shot at Hoppa Villa.
Yep.
So when the idea when I was informed that we were going for outdoor shoot, I was, to be honest, more fearful of Bukit Brown.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the word Bukit Brown cemetery is like, ooh.
Yep.
Ooh, cemetery. And then Hoppa Villa. Hoppa Villa. Okay lah. You know, it's probably just, you know, it's a very non-cemetery like area.
That's the best way to describe it, honestly.
Right? Yeah. So I'm like, I think I'm more scared of Bukit Brown Cemetery as compared to Hoppa Villa. So So, and also, I've never done such an expedition before. I'll call it an expedition. The last time I did this, guys, was when I was in secondary school. I still remember it was a night walk where I closed my eyes all the way. So, that was the last time.
I get it, bro. Yeah.
And I've never done it before, all the way until then. So, when I heard that we are going for such a shoot, I was worried because I've never done this before. So, I don't know what to expect. What's gonna happen, and usually when you watch paranormal activities being done, sometimes things happen, right? So I was like, okay, hopefully nothing happens to me and my family lah. So to start off, when we got the info that we have to go, I was worried, but I didn't expect that I didn't expect Haw Par Villa to be a different whole level than that's the beginning.
Yeah. So let's break it down.
Yeah. Let's break
so
it
when
down
we
first.
shot in Haw Par Villa, there were two aspects. One was the main podcast section, which was actually shot on location in the 10 Courts of Hell.
Correct.
The 10 Courts of Hell is basically a depiction of the Chinese mythology of hell. What you would experience as a spirit when you depart to the underworld and then you get punished for all your sins lah. So there's 10 levels, and then there's like a bridge in the middle. So we actually shot there in the podcast scene, and because 31st of October is Halloween, so it was a Halloween episode. Everybody went in makeup, basically the cast went in makeup, including myself lah. So when we were shooting there, did you feel anything weird?
Oh yeah.
Like in the 10 Courts of Hell?
Yeah.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so describe like what was your experience for that?
Okay, where do I begin? Okay, so let me just I start from the start. Okay, so before I start telling the story, I just want to let you guys know that first and foremost, I've mentioned I've never done this before, and I've told ghost stories before. I've seen people being possessed or whatsoever, but I've never in a position where I myself felt very, very uneasy. So I've had these situations of feeling not uneasy, but it's only there then, and that's it. But so what happened was at Haw Par Villa itself, when we first arrived, right, that place already has such an aura, right? If you guys agree, it has this very, I don't know how to describe it, but very, 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 I wouldn't say dark, but mysterious aura, where you kind of feel different. Like you're not in like when you're at home, that kind of feeling, and when I was at the cemetery versus when I was at that place, the cemetery felt mild for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, strangely. When I first arrived, I think you guys watched the Nakia's episode where she mentioned that she saw a lot. But when she saw a lot, I still feel safe.
Yeah.
Get it? But in Haw Par, it's when I first arrived there, I feel like, wow. Okay, so let me just start from the beginning. Let's start from the start of the day. So I believe we can share, right? This is the first outdoor shoot that we had before Bukit Brown. So Bukit Brown happened on the day after. Haw Par was the first day.
Haw Par was a Thursday, and then Bukit Brown was a Friday.
Yeah. So that morning, I got myself ready in terms of spiritually. So I had like my holy water, I got like my stuff to bring and all that stuff, and I was doing extra prayers at home. I even had my wife to like prepare a pail of water with holy water to put outside the house so that I can come back home immediately and just rinse off my feet right outside the house. So everything was done. I kind of like got myself ready so that we can face the day without any issues. So when I rode down, we had to enter by the back lane. So the back lane, we had to go through a couple of terraces, and then once we reach the gate, we have to go up. So when I was there, initially I thought I was lost lah, because when I first arrived there, it was already almost 7. So it has already started to get darker. And then once I reached there, I was like, why am I lost? Because this is like the dead end. But thankfully there's a small gate. Then the uncle said, I can go in.
And you've never been to Haw Par Villa before?
Oh, never. Wait, actually, I checked with my parents. They say we did, but we were very, very
long
young.
time ago lah.
Yeah, long time ago. So I couldn't remember lah. But I thought it was my first time. So once we got in, I went up. The place gives me the chills already lah. Once I reached, I was on a bike and I was alone there. And then when I reached the part where there is a statue of
Is it
can't remember what statue.
Kuan Ima?
Yeah, the Kuan
yeah.
the big one, Kuan Yin. It's a turn before you go down, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I stopped there and I was like, where is everybody? Why is nobody here? Am I lost? And I'm stuck there, The only way is to get out. I don't want to go through. And I was afraid of being disrespectful if I were to ride in, because I don't know whether that is the area where you can ride in or not.
Yeah.
But then I was telling myself I have to go lah. So the chills already started there. But once we arrived, I saw Chin, I saw the team. They told me to park there. Everything was